Berkey admitted to them. He's been watching people go to the bathroom in the woods for 15 years. This is the campground known as Big Fan. It's 67 miles east of Portland, and it's pretty remote. It's not even marked on the road. You just have to know it's here. It's in the forest, but the trees are not thick, and there's no bathrooms. Folks needing to go use the trees. If Jason Dugan is the man who caught Berkey, he thought the shadow he'd seen in the trees was a friend. When he saw it was not, he tackled the man and could not believe his eyes. He'd caught Berkey doing the same thing last year.
Oh, infuriated. I mean, just can't even imagine. I mean, just looking at that guy, and I remember asking him, "Do you remember me?"
Jason said Berkey admitted watching his wife and others go to the bathroom Saturday night.
Us women pretty much, I don't know if we necessarily felt violated or grossed out. I mean, we just kind of couldn't believe that somebody in the woods.
I don't think that's quite a proper question.
Berkey refused to answer our questions, but these friends say while tied to the tree, the 63-year-old opened up, admitting he'd done this for 15 years.
It really just makes me sick. Like, I really felt sick to my stomach.
I think it's horrible what he did in the woods. I'm glad we caught him. 2 years in a row. That guy disgusts me.
Now, when this group caught Berkey reportedly last year, they thought they scared him enough to stop, but did not pursue any charges. This time, he is cited for public indecency, a charge he's also faced in Multnomah County back in 1995. Deputies are especially concerned about this because inside his truck, they found maps for a lot of different other camping areas, and they're asking anyone who may have seen anything to come forward.
That's a pretty aggressive move on their part to tie him to the tree.
And police don't recommend you normally do that, but this time they did not want to let him get away.
All right, Anita, thank you.
We have other news to tell you about. A woman leads police on a chase through Beaverton and Portland with her 2-year-old child strapped in the back seat. KATU's Ton Tan is live at Hillsborough now, where she's learned Doreen Hudson should not have been driving at all. Ton?
Well, we asked the Oregon DMV to run a check on Hudson's driving record, and they reported back she has never had a driver's license, and they've placed 41 different license suspension orders on her record. Now, this makes yesterday's chase another example of how authorities often can't catch these problem drivers until, in Hudson's case, she was caught shoplifting. And even then, police dispatch tapes we're about to play for you show they didn't realize a toddler was also being taken for a spin.
And again, looks like two female blacks, probably mid-20s, heavy set. Did not see any kind of a child in the back seat.
But later in the chase, police learned this 3-year-old you see here being held by an officer was in fact riding in the back.
I was scared.
Erin Scharf shot the video on her cell phone while pulled over to the side of the road. She says the car was moving at 15 to 20 miles per hour.
The video shows after she's already passed through both of the spikes, and it shows the police cars chasing after her.
Doreen Hudson faced a judge briefly today. Oregon DMV records show there are 41 suspension orders on her record and 2 prior convictions for endangering a child passenger.
She loves her daughter. I mean, that's why I don't understand why her daughter was in a car with her.
Hudson told police she lives here with her cousin, Termaine Murphy. He thinks he knows what happened.
She was just trying to get her daughter back to Portland.
Her friends say she stole from Marshall's but meant no harm.
Just borrowed it. She will give it back.
Man, it's hard out here, I guess. You know what I'm saying? I mean, no job. I mean, you got to resource to other things. I mean,
if she spends time behind bars, he says.
Oh, most definitely she will learn something from this. Believe me, she will.
A DMV spokesman tells me that Hudson has been caught dozens of times for not driving with any insurance, driving while suspended, and for not appearing in court. Now, we are told that she's also been arrested for other crimes, including theft and weapons possession. Live in Hillsborough, I'm Ton Tan, KATU News.
Ton, thank you. A Portland man is found guilty of killing his ex-wife's grandparents 26 years ago. Casper and Otilia Volk were found stabbed to death in their Lake Oswego home in 1980. Last April, Ryan Anthony was arrested for the double murder. New DNA testing connected Anthony to a bloody towel and a pillowcase at the murder scene. Today, a jury convicted Anthony on aggravated murder. He faces life in prison.
Washington State says it may only be a matter of time before somebody dies on a dangerous stretch of I-5. That 9-mile stretch in Clark County between milepost 7 and 16 is where the state says as many as 5 people crash every single day, many in the southbound lanes. That's where KATU's Nick Winkler is. Nick, you found out what the state is doing to try and make it safer?
We did, and 4 cars have already crashed out here this week. And here in the southbound lane, the number of crashes out here have tripled in recent years. Of course, the state wants to reverse that trend before somebody dies, but it needs your help. Is it just a matter of time?
I hope not.
Before time runs out, Don Wagner wants you to look at these pictures and the numbers behind them.
Well, when I first saw the numbers, I asked staff to go back and verify them.
A few years ago, 59 cars crashed here, but by last year, 126 had.
Well, it worries me greatly.
Wagner says more drivers are on the road and are distracted by large homes, construction projects, and cell phones. What are you guys doing to make it safer out there?
Well, what we've done so far is we've lowered the speed limit.
From 70 to 60. The state has also put up more signs warning drivers of construction. What are you doing to slow people down?
Well, so far since construction started on April 24th.
Lieutenant Ron Rupke says troopers have increased patrols, are giving fewer warnings and more tickets. Rupke worked the one fatal accident here last year.
Somebody's life was affected.
Most of the crashes happen southbound and in the afternoon. The state says more truckers are driving then to beat the afternoon rush to Portland.
You know, we can't do a whole heck of a lot more. Engineering is only one leg of this stool.
So Wagner says pay attention, drivers, or you could wind up in a picture or worse.
Every fatality is one too many for us.
And as dangerous as this 9-mile stretch is, the state still wants you to be very careful on those 2-lane, smaller highways here in this area, because statistically they say those are even more dangerous than it is out here. Live in Clark County, Nick Winkler, KATU News.
Nick, thank you. The city of Sherwood is firing its police chief, and it's creating quite a firestorm in that small community. In May, Bill Middleton returned from an 18-month military deployment and was reinstated as police chief. However, the city's assistant manager says 2 days later, Middleton was placed on administrative leave for acts of misconduct. Jim Patterson says now Middleton is being fired because that misconduct continued while he was on leave. However, Middleton's attorney disputes that. He says the city told his client he would be demoted if he didn't get out of the military reserves. The city of Sherwood is denying that, saying Middleton was returning to the same job, the same pay and responsibilities.
Well, to hear the conspiracy theorists tell it, you shouldn't be alive to hear this next story about the Oregon National Guard and its role in a disaster and terrorism training drill. The Guard is among several different agencies taking part in Operation Noble Resolve. In a command center in Salem, Guard members are testing out new computer programs that would help the Guard coordinate with state, federal, and local authorities responding to a natural disaster or terror attack. We have received a number of phone calls and emails from people who have read conspiracy theories on the internet, and we're not making this up, that the exercise is a ruse for a real-life nuclear attack on Portland, orchestrated by the U.S. government in order to establish martial law. Major Verl Miller tells us what the exercise is really about.
Some of the simulations that we've gone through, we had a simulated 7.2 earthquake that happened 20 miles east of Portland. How would we react in terms of working with the Office of Emergency Management in supporting our civilian authorities?
Operation Noble Resolve began on Monday, runs through the end of the week.
Coast Guard crews at the mouth of the Columbia have been selected to put a new type of response boat to the test. The Coast Guard station at Cape Disappointment is the only West Coast facility selected to receive a new kind of response boat. Cape Disappointment was chosen because of the strong winds and the high seas along the northwest coast. This is Coast Guard video of crews putting the boat through a series of tests. The 44-foot boat can ride itself. If it rolls over in high seas. The boat should arrive at Cape Disappointment in June of next year.
What a story this next one is. A Washington woman is describing the pit bull attack that left her hospitalized with serious injuries. A neighbor's dogs entered her house through a dog door and mauled her in her own bed. KATU's Keith Eldridge visited her in the hospital today.
Sue Gorman has deep bite wounds on her face, arms, hands, and chest. Despite her pain, she wants to tell you her story, how she and her service dog Misty survived an attack by 2 neighbor pit bulls. She says the 2 had tried attacking her dog before, but this time they came through an open door and attacked her as she slept with her dog and another neighbor's Jack Russell Terrier.
And they went right after my dogs. You know, they went after the dogs initially, not after me. They're more interested in killing the dogs.
Her dog ran from the house, but the pit bulls cornered the smaller dog, Romeo.
You know, they're so big and Romeo's so little, and I was trying to protect Romeo, and trying to get Romeo out, but there were two of them, and they were just killing Romeo.
As she protected the dog, the pit bulls turned to attack her.
They grabbed my arms and just ripped off the skin, ripped out the skin, and I had big holes, you know, like about this big and about that deep.
She tried shooting the dogs, but her gun didn't fire. She fought them off and called 911.
911, what are you reporting?
I had two pit bulls come over and barged into my house and attacked my dogs and killed the neighbor's dog in my house.
Where are you hurt at?
My arms.
Your arm, okay.
My chest, my face.
Okay.
The dog's owner, Zach Martin, is heartsick.
All that's going through my head is, you know, apologies. Like, I'm sorry for the family's losses. I'm sorry for Sue, you know, being injured. There's nothing I can do about it.
Sue says she's not angry with Zach, but she has no mercy for the dogs.
I think they should take them out and shoot the damn things.
The pit bulls are going to be put down. As for the owner of those dogs, the prosecutor will have to decide if charges are going to be filed. In Tacoma, Washington, Keith Eldridge for KATU News.
Dozens of birds bearing the scars of battle. Coming up at 5:30, how police were tipped off to an illegal cockfighting ring in Corvallis.
Plus, Blackhawk down in Iraq, what the military thinks caused a deadly helicopter crash.
Not a bad day, but cooler than I thought it would be. Are we still looking at 80-degree temperatures or not? That's in my forecast.
Next on KATU News, debt collectors demanding payment.
Abusive and threatening or intimidating tactics.
For money she doesn't owe.
It is absolutely not mine.
So why are they still allowed to do it? KATU Shelley Billy Shaw is on your side. Next.
You got the look I like. For what you'd pay for this outfit at a department store, you could go to Ross and get the same outfit, plus one for the guitarist, the drummer, and the backup singer. That sounds a lot better, doesn't it? Ross, there's no comparison.
It's back. You loved it, so we brought it back to you. Right now, you can get a mouth-watering, cheesy bites pizza from Pizza Hut for only $12.99. Order your favorite toppings on a garlic butter flavored crust with 28 cheese-filled bites around the outside. Just pull them off and pop them in your mouth. Call or stop by for a large one-topping cheesy bites pizza. Just $12.99. Only at Pizza Hut, America's favorite pizza.
Imagine a world without nail guns, without particle board, without assembly line techniques. Beautiful. Parker Furniture. Raw materials for refined living. The summer event. Behold the beauty of savings. Going on now. Preview sale items at parker-furniture.com.
RV buyers, it's our largest Northwest RV show of the year. This Wednesday through Sunday only, inside the Clark County Event Center at the fairgrounds. Tons of new and used RVs will be on display, from travel trailers to motorhomes, with huge discounts at the free Northwest RV show this Wednesday through Sunday only.
Kids will be kids, so why pay $60 for this outfit at a department store when you could get the same outfit at Ross, plus this one, and this one, and this one? Because kids will be kids. Ross, there's no comparison.
Well, traffic lined up this afternoon northbound on I-205. The slowing there just north of Gleason. Lanes are loaded most of the way from Clackamas Town Center up to the Glen Jackson Bridge. There's northbound slowing on I-5 at Columbia Boulevard. That starts back in the Terwilliger curves, busy all the way up to the Interstate Bridge. And a look at 217 southbound at Canyon Road. That slowing starts before the Walker exit. It's tied up to Denny. Police activity 82nd and Flavel with 82nd Avenue closed between Crystal Springs and Henderson. There are detours in place and delays on Highway 30 with an accident at East Street in Columbia City. Flaggers directing traffic there. For KATU News, I'm Jeff Mitchell.
You're watching KATU News, Portland's fastest growing evening newscast.
Welcome back. They certainly can be relentless. Debt collection agencies looking to collect from you even when the debt is not yours. 2 on your side consumer reporter Shelley Bailey Shaw is here to explain what you need to do to get rid of aggressive debt collectors. Shelley?
Well, Deb, there are laws to protect against aggressive debt collectors on the books, but we found that it's the enforcement of those laws that's missing. So we went to the Attorney General to find out why.
They inundate you with letters,
file numbers,
phone calls.
They call
at least twice a day, yes.
And voicemail messages.
They just called today at 9:32 a.m.
Sometimes rude and threatening.
For something that has absolutely nothing to do with me.
But this collection agency says Jennifer Silva, or more likely someone with the same name, owes $286, an old debt it bought from Sprint. By pulling up her credit report, Jennifer can prove the debt isn't hers. But after 8 months and countless letters, the debt is still hanging over her head.
Every time they call, I can feel my blood rise. I'm like, it's just really frustrating.
Jennifer is far from alone. Take a look at the Oregon Attorney General's top 5 list. Complaints about debt collection ranked number 4. Last year, 483 complaints. Already this year, 450 and counting. Under federal and state laws, here's what debt collectors can't do. Call between 9 p.m. and 8 a.m., call or write more than 3 times a week, use obscene or profane language, use false or misleading statements, threaten or use violence, or threaten arrest, seizure of property, or garnishment of wages. So if you don't really owe anything, what should you do? Well, first, dispute the debt in writing within 30 days. If you don't, the collector can assume the debt is yours. Demand verification of the debt, including the amount, the original creditor, and a copy of the bill. Demand in writing that all communications stop. Under the law, they must stop except to notify you of potential legal action or to tell you they're no longer trying to collect the debt. And if the debt collector continues to violate the law, contact the Attorney General's office.
But here's the thing, even though Oregon does have an Unfair Debt Collections Act, it does not give the Attorney General full authority to go after the bad guys. So earlier this year, Hardy Myers asked lawmakers to change that. But the bill never even made it through these doors to the Senate floor. So in other words, a lobbying effort by the debt collectors has influenced legislators not to pass the measure.
That's correct.
Leaving Jennifer with few options.
I thought about it for a little while, but
just paying the money.
Yeah, just go away. You know, it's $200. Go away.
But that's exactly what these businesses want you to do. So Jennifer says she'll keep fighting.
Now on our website, we've put links to the Federal Trade Commission as well as the Oregon and Washington Attorney General's offices. But the website I like the best is this one, fairdebtcollectionwithhyphens.com. It has sample letters to debt collectors that you can just cut and paste and then send off to those businesses to get them off your back. So you should report aggressive debt collection to the Attorney General, but at this point, it seems as the best they can do is write letters, which is what you're going to have to do.
It's good information for them to know about.
Absolutely.
Shelley, thanks.
We do have some breaking news to tell you about right now. Bomb threat on a TriMet bus. The bus driver says somebody threatened to blow up his bus at 82nd and Flavel. That is in southeast Portland. We're also told one man has been arrested. One witness who just called the station says police at first told him to shut his business doors. Minutes later, he was evacuated 2 blocks from the scene. Roads in the area are shut down. 82nd, of course, is a main artery. It's closed from Ogden to Crystal Springs. We do, of course, have a crew on the way, helicopter on the way as well. But a man on a bus apparently threatened to blow up the bus, but we can tell you that guy has been arrested. We will keep you posted.
Rod Hill joins us now to take a look at our weather, but let's start not in our region.
Climate change, kind of fascinating. And here's the latest from something I read off of NOAA's website. You can read this entire article, by the way. That's NOAA.gov. So that's simple. And we're going to the Great Lakes region and Lake Superior, the big daddy of them all. And this is what's kind of interesting, all right? Lake Superior, near record low water levels. And the reason being blamed, warm air, less ice coverage, and also low snowpack. And now the lake is about ready to approach its lowest level, which would be 600 feet depth on average, since 1926. And by the way, it was the climate change going into 1926 that went on to lead to the Dust Bowl year, so that's kind of interesting. And also, get this, For every inch that Lake Superior drops, 529 billion with a B gallons of water are displaced. That's kind of interesting. The lake, by the way, has dropped some 2 feet in the past decade. And a big one here is with the warmer temperatures, not as much ice covering the lake, that increases the evaporatory rates during the winter season. So that's a big reason there. So anyway, another little nugget of evidence that our climate, for whatever reason, does seem to be changing. 72 on Saturday, 75 on Sunday. The weekend still looking for the threat of some showers. Yesterday, the rain chance on Saturday was starting to look pretty good. Today, the rain chance on Saturday is starting to look not so great. If you are traveling northward, it still looks likely Seattle, for example, will in fact see some rain over the weekend. We, again, are kind of on the bottom edge, may miss it. 68 right now, lots of sunshine on the Central Coast. This is the sunniest it's been all day, and basically it's the sunniest it's been all day all over the place. 80 right now out in Hood River, courtesy of the Hood River Inn. We're still fairly cool. 74 is our current temperature. We'll be about the same through 7, 67 to 10 o'clock. Should be another nice evening for you. Nobody up to 80 today. 76, these are the current temperatures in Salem. 77 degrees out in McMinnville. Lower 80s in the Dalles and Pendleton off on the east side of the state. 73 degrees is the temperature up in Kelso. We basically have a northwesterly flow that's just cool and cool enough to produce temperatures a little bit cooler than I thought they'd be today. We forecasted 79. Looks like we'll see a high only in the mid-70s, but you can see the sunshine increasing, so a nice evening. And if you look out across here, the big Pacific satellite picture, these clouds really starting to move well to the north around a big area of high pressure. So we're still in this pattern of we should slowly be getting more and more sun and warming up. About the coldest it could have been today was 74. It's our current temperature. The coldest it could be tomorrow's 80. So high confidence we will hit 80 tomorrow. About 71 up on the north coast tomorrow in Astoria, 87 out in Pendleton. Another dry day, by the way, across all of Oregon and Washington. Well, like this morning, some areas of low clouds are partly cloudy in the morning in Portland. 58, then we should see plenty of sun. 69 at noon, tomorrow's high, 81. Thought we'd see a little more sun and warmer temperatures today. We'll see if we can do that tomorrow. 85 on Friday. And then, again, watching at least the threat of some rain on Saturday. The best chance appears to be Saturday late day into the overnight if we get it at all. Sunday, 75 still looks to be dry, and all of next week on the 10-day trend still looks to be dry as well.
That summertime Friday, though, it looks good.
That would be nice, yeah.
Thanks, Brad.
A leading Democratic candidate for president is heading to Portland coming up at 5:30 when Barack Obama will be in town and how much it'll cost to see him.
And next, one of the deadliest helicopter crashes of the war. What the military thinks caused a Blackhawk helicopter to go down in Iraq.
Introducing the Cadillac Summer Event. Right now at your Cadillac dealer, you can experience the best Cadillac has to offer and 0% APR financing across all models. The best part about summer? It's here.
Visit Cadillac.com for local offers.
The sky's the limit at Spirit Mountain Casino, with prizes stacking up sky high. Over $375,000 and 99 individual prizes, including 3 Saturn Skies, each with $1,000 in free gas and cash, with a top prize of $10,000. Just play your favorite games with your Coyote Club card, and you'll earn drawing entries. The sky's the limit. Cars, cash, piling up to the sky. Only at Spirit Mountain.
For a limited time, Sleep Country's best-selling mattresses are all on sale. Save on Sleep Country's top-selling Simmons, Sealy, Spring Air, and Pacific mattresses. Plus, get 12 months interest-free financing.
Why buy a mattress anywhere else?
It's Toyota's Lots on the Lot event. With so many great models to choose from, it's the right time to buy. Get Corolla with $750 cash back or 5.9% APR financing for 60 months. Or get Camry with 3.9% APR financing for 60 months. Toyota's Lots on the Lot event. Going on now.
Rosie likes red. Violet likes blue. Empire has the perfect carpet for you. Berbers, plushes, wools, and frisés. You can shop right at home and we'll install next day. You'll get a free gift, save money and time, and no payments due till 2009. So for beautiful new carpet installed next day, just pick up the phone. Call Empire today.
800-588-2300 Empire.
Today.
This segment of K2 News brought to you in part by Oak Furniture Warehouse.
You're watching K2 News, voted best newscast by the Associated Press.
Welcome back. The families of 14 U.S. soldiers are receiving devastating news from Iraq tonight. Their loved ones were killed in the crash of a Blackhawk helicopter. It is the deadliest helicopter crash in Iraq in more than 2.5 years. ABC's Gloria Rivera reports.
The military says mechanical failure caused the crash of a Blackhawk helicopter like this one in northern Iraq. 14 U.S. soldiers were killed.
This is certainly something that will affect the soldiers in that unit, but our soldiers are mission focused. We will mourn their loss.
The steady rise in ground attacks against U.S. troops has put helicopters in high demand. They are fast, versatile, and vital for disaster response. But they are also highly visual targets. Insurgent groups are quick to claim responsibility when they purportedly take one down. By ABC News count, 9 Blackhawks have crashed since the war began, killing 60 U.S. soldiers. Most of those deployed are now waiting to hear how the September 15th report to Congress will affect their tours of duty. For now, many are working towards handing over security to Iraqis. Nearly 1,000 local Iraqis have volunteered to help, but not all have been fully trained or are armed. Many are split into Sunni and Shiite divides.
So they will become a police, really, to patrol and protect their local communities. And they will, in fact, in the long term, be the long-term security in these areas and will allow us to reduce our presence over time.
When and if that happens, there is concern these local groups will develop into militias, and even more violence will follow. Gloria Riviera, ABC News.
And elsewhere in Baghdad today, in Iraq, in fact, 1 U.S. soldier was killed, 3 others wounded during fighting just west of Baghdad.
Increasing security and monitoring troubled students. Those are some of the top priorities for keeping students safe at Virginia Tech. Students returned to campus this week. Last spring, a gunman opened fire, killing 33 people. And today, university officials released the recommendations of an internal report on security. However, some criticized the report for not including the question, should administrators have locked down the campus after the first 2 shootings? 2 hours later, 31 more students were killed. An external report is due out next week.
Certainly seems like a broken record now. More toys recalled because of lead. And coming up, the toys now being pulled off the shelves and where you'll need to go to get all your questions answered.
Plus, extra security at PDX, how long it'll last and what it'll mean for travelers.
And a dairy worker arrested for having a cockfighting operation. Coming up next, KATU asked the owner of the dairy why he didn't do anything to stop it.
K2 News is on your side with breaking news as it happens.
That landslide is still actually happening as we speak.
At least 5 of the 8 climbers are down.
That's why the Associated Press voted K2 Oregon's best newscast.
The first sport utility vehicle. The first full-time 4-wheel drive. And now, Jeep introduces the industry's first lifetime powertrain warranty. It's the best warranty in the business, and no other car company matches it. So come and check out our largest lineup of Jeep vehicles ever with our exclusive lifetime warranty. Now, well-qualified buyers can get 0% financing for 72 months on Jeep Commander.
Take advantage of Northwest Rugs pre-Labor Day sale for outstanding savings throughout our showroom. Choose from over 20,000 rugs to complement your home's decor. You'll find every color and style that you can imagine, including fine furniture and unique accessories. Bring your color swatches, bring your size, bring your dreams, and Northwest Rugs will do the rest. Hurry in for savings now during our pre-Labor Day sale. Creating that perfect space in your home is just one visit away from Northwest Rugs.
Okay, class, let's go!
1, 2, up, 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 arriba, there you go. Abajo, turn, keep turning. Here we go again, left, right, 1, 2, 1, 2, vamos! Up, down, up, abajo, arriba, muy bien. And take a deep breath. Stretch all those músculos. Y ya.
It's finally here, the Dodge Model Year-End Clearance, with no interest for 6 years on Dodge Durango, Dakota, And Grand Caravan with stow-and-go seating and storage. Now, for the first time ever on 2007 Durango, Dakota, and Grand Caravan, well-qualified buyers can get 0% financing for 72 months. That's no interest for 6 full years. Add that to the best warranty in the business, our exclusive lifetime powertrain warranty. And that's an offer no one else matches. Hurry, the Dodge model year-end clearance ends soon.
Her son was sick, on medication since he was 3, but nothing seemed to be working.
It was pretty much a guessing game.
Until now, the revolutionary test that helped doctors discover the treatment her son really needed. Vital Signs continues tonight on World News with Charles Gibson.
Welcome back. We're continuing to follow breaking news of a bomb scare in southeast Portland. Here's what's happening. 82nd Avenue is now closed in both directions from Ogden to Crystal Springs. A TriMet bus driver says somebody threatened to blow up his bus right there at 82nd and Flavel. The man has now been arrested. One witness called KATU News told us that police told him to shut his business doors, and a few minutes later he was evacuated. And of course, at this point, we don't know if the individual left anything on that bus, but he has been taken into custody. We do, of course, have a crew on the way. The helicopter's on the way as well. We'll keep you updated as this story continues to develop.
New at 5:30 tonight, exclusive video of injured roosters that were used as part of a cockfighting operation in Corvallis. Now, the Benton County man accused of breeding them is behind bars. Authorities say this operation brought in thousands of dollars in gambling proceeds.
KATU's Melika Johnson found out the owner of the man's workplace knew this was going on, and she asked why he didn't do anything to stop it.
This is one of the rescued roosters. He's banged up and missing an eye, but still clucking. This is the man police say bred and fought those roosters, 37-year-old Martin Ramos Reyes, an employee at this Benton County dairy where he lived and allegedly raised the birds.
I'm surprised if things had happened here. I'm surprised that I didn't know.
The dairy owner says he knew Ramos was breeding the birds in the backyard of his home and in a dairy outbuilding, but he didn't know that practice alone was illegal. He also says he didn't really believe the birds were being used for fighting.
I'm very surprised by it because it's very contrary to what we're all about. We're about animal husbandry.
According to court documents, a search of the dairy led to the discovery of 23 chickens, 12 roosters, DVDs showing cockfighting, and catalogs for ordering cockfighting supplies. A police informant also claims to have seen a black briefcase full of spurs in Ramos's possession. Those are 1 to 3 inch blades used for cockfighting.
What some people will do is they will attach razors or small knives or some type of implement for killing the other animal.
According to police, these fights brought in big money. Reyes apparently made $30,000 in gambling proceeds off just one cockfight. Benton County's district attorney says this sort of animal cruelty case is unusual, but he also realizes times have changed.
Nationwide, we're starting to see a greater awareness of cases where animals are tortured, whether that's dogs or whether that's roosters.
In Corvallis, Melika Johnson, KATU News.
We can also tell you the police investigation into the cockfight also led INS to find 6 undocumented workers at that dairy. They were taken into custody for deportation.
Updating our other top stories tonight, the woman who led police on a chase through Beaverton and Portland with her 2-year-old in the back seat has a history of putting kids in danger. Kendra Reen Hudson has 2 prior convictions for endangering a child, 41 suspensions on her record, and has never had a driver's license. The chase started yesterday evening with a report of a shoplifting spree at the Marshall store in Beaverton. The 24-year-old finally stopped at 92nd Avenue in Southeast Stark after running over some spike strips.
Campers near Estacada keep a Peeping Tom from getting away. The campers say they heard somebody in the woods spying on them going to the bathroom, and when they found 63-year-old Richard Berkey, they tied him to a tree until deputies arrived. Berkey refused to answer our questions when we went to his Beaverton home today, but the campers say he admitted to doing this for 15 years, and they say they found him doing the exact same thing at the same place 1 year ago. Berkey got a ticket for public indecency.
Washington's Department of Transportation says a stretch of I-5 north of Vancouver could be a ticking time bomb for a fatal accident. At least 4 crashes have taken place from mileposts 7 and 16 this week, and crashes in the southbound lane have tripled in the last few years. Officials blame more drivers and distractions like construction and cell phones. To help the problem, more warning signs for drivers are going up, and troopers are also stepping up patrols.
Federal agents had descended upon the Portland airport. It's part of a big show of force happening across the country right now. And as KATU's Brian Barker shows, it's not in response to any particular threat, but it's certainly noticeable.
It starts outside the terminal. Federal agents searching cars. Inside, walk anywhere and you'll see federal agents in official jackets and police officers with guns. Mike Irwin is in charge of the TSA in Oregon.
To some degree, I guess it's a show of force for people that want to do us harm, but it's really kind of standard operating procedure.
This is part of a federal program nicknamed Viper. Agents descend on an airport, beef up security for a few days, then move on to another airport. And a certain unspecified number of these people are undercover federal air marshals. They may have a badge and a gun, but you can't tell who's who.
It's not good for bad people to know exactly what you're doing because they can figure out a way around that. We're going to be one step ahead of them, and this is one way we're doing it.
Have you noticed any increased security?
No, not so far.
But you heard about it?
I heard about it, yes.
What do you think?
I think it's great. It's good. The more security you have, the better we all are.
And the reality is, unless you're picked for one of the few random car searches outside the airport, you probably won't notice all the extra cops and agents. But the hope is the bad guys will notice, and that, the TSA says, is what really matters. Most passengers we spoke with didn't even notice the extra security. The TSA's public relations people did not announce the move in advance. The feds have been doing this at airports, train stations, and bus terminals across the country for about 2 years now. Seriously, no delays here at all at PDX. This is going to take place for another couple of days, and then they'll move on. At PDX, Brian Barker, KATU News.
And one other note now, there are no additional rules as far as which you can and cannot take on board a plane during this operation.
A reported fire at Oaks Park this afternoon leads to the evacuation of the skating rink. That fire started in the inside of an electrical malfunction, inside of a wall. Workers put out most of the fire before crews arrived. Crews had to tear apart the wall, just make sure there's no danger. Nobody was hurt.
The alleged ringleader of a suspected plot to bomb McNary High School in Kaiser will remain in custody now. The 15-year-old boy will stay in a juvenile facility until he has a psychiatric evaluation. Now, investigators say 5 teens broke into the school's science room earlier this month to steal chemicals to build a bomb.
Votes are still being finalized for yesterday's primary election in Washington, and this year it was a month early. Voter turnout was low. Here's a look at a few of the key races. Clark County voters say no to higher property taxes to pay for an expansion of the Port of Vancouver. Preliminary results show nearly 72% oppose the $78 million tax proposal, and voters say yes to a property tax levy to keep the paramedic program in Fire Protection District number 12. It's passing 55% to 45%.
Illinois Senator Barack Obama will be coming to Portland next month. It's the first time he'll be in Portland since he announced his bid for the Democratic nomination for president. He'll be at the Oregon Convention Center for a fundraiser on September 7th at 8 p.m. Admission is $25.
6 western states, including Oregon and Washington, have a new goal to reduce greenhouse gases by 2020. The Western Climate Initiative wants to cut emissions by 15% in the next 13 years. Some scientists say high levels of heat-trapping emissions like carbon dioxide will lead to catastrophic storms, droughts, and floods as temperatures rise and glaciers melt.
The Lake Oswego Lakers head back to the field tomorrow in Pennsylvania as they continue toward a Little League World Series crown. They'll face Texas, who was the top team of their pool. That starts at noon local time. If Lake Oswego wins, they'll play Saturday in the finals of the U.S. bracket, and if they win Saturday, they'll advance to the Little League World Series Championship on Sunday.
Well, big bucks on the line for tonight's Powerball drawing. Coming up, we're going to crunch the numbers to see what you could buy with a lump sum payment.
Plus, what new tests have turned up in dog treats that Walmart is pulling off the shelves.
And the sign says, now hiring. But coming up next, what OSP says is the one reason they're having a tough time finding new state troopers.
And continuing to follow that breaking news in Southeast Portland, you're looking at a live picture there, a lot of police activity. Here's what's going on. A TriMet bus driver says somebody threatened to blow up his bus at 82nd and Flavel. The man has been arrested, but they've got a whole lot of street closed off at this point. We're going to keep you posted right here on KATU.
KATU News This Morning, on your side, with live coverage of the day's top stories.
An 89-year-old Tualatin woman is a victim of theft.
Police say this guy is a real con man.
The forecast first, after every commercial break.
We'll see a little disturbance drop down here and hit the northwest part of Oregon. Southwest Washington could give us some rain.
And up-to-the-minute traffic conditions.
It is very slow. There's some construction blocking there getting past Capitol Highway.
Start your day with KATU News This Morning, weekdays from 5 to 7.
Now, everyone knows Sleep Country will beat any competitor's price by 5%, right?
5%, huh?
Haven't heard of that one.
There's a 5% guarantee on what?
5% guarantee.
Sleep Country, USA.
But
why buy a mattress
anywhere else?
Yeah, but what do you think of the low prices?
Why buy a mattress?
Anywhere else.
Low
Ding,
prices?
Ding, ding.
Anyone? You heard it from these folks. Sleep Country has the lowest prices.
Why buy a mattress?
Why buy a mattress?
Good, great, the jingle.
Anywhere else.
Low prices?
Bold, powerful, unique. Of all Nissan's lines, this is the one you've been waiting for. The Bottom Line, the once-a-year sales event with great model year-end deals on every capable Nissan SUV and minivan. Get $2,500 total cash back or 1.9% APR financing on the Nissan Xterra. Get to your Nissan dealer now. This event ends September 4th, and that's the bottom line.
Go green with Trinity Carpet's exclusive Carpet Cashback event. Your old carpet is worth cash, and here's why. Buy new Mohawk carpeting, laminate, or hardwood flooring from Trinity, and we'll give you $1 a yard for your old carpet. Plus, we'll recycle it. Add value to your home, help the environment, and save money during Trinity's Go Green Cashback event. Make no payments until 2009 at Trinity Carpet and Flooring. Go green with Trinity Carpet and Flooring. It's the right thing to do.
It's the Chevy Model Year-End event, where you'll find the best offer ever on the all-new Silverado. 0% APR for 60 months on Silverado half-ton extended and crew cabs for well-qualified buyers. Just click and go to Chevy.com to find the Silverado you want. Then get to your Chevy dealer before it's gone. Get 0% financing for 60 months on an all-new 07 Silverado half-ton extended cab or crew cab for well-qualified buyers. Click on Chevy.com. Then see your participating Northwest Chevy dealer.
Oregon State Police want 100 new troopers on the road, but say they're having a tough time finding qualified applicants. Earlier this year, the state legislature approved the money for the new troopers to be hired. Right now, they're in an aggressive recruiting and training phase for people who are considering a career with them.
Typically what we're seeing is that we've got a number of people that are applying, but we're only seeing, of those numbers, only half of those that are applying actually show up for the testing.
Now, despite the addition of 100 new troopers, legislators did not approve the money to have around-the-clock patrols on Oregon roads. An additional 42 troopers need to be hired to provide that coverage.
The Oregon DMV is getting tougher with cheaters. Starting September 4th, Oregonians caught cheating on their driver's license test will have to wait 90 days to retake it. Those currently caught cheating only have to wait a day. Test takers are not allowed to have notes or any electronic device while taking the exam. Officials say just having a cell phone or an iPod is considered cheating.
More toys coming from China being pulled from the shelves and coming up. What's behind this latest round of recalls and the kinds of toys on the new list?
Not even close today. Will we hit 80 degrees tomorrow? And an update on whether or not it's going to rain this weekend coming up. At KATU News, we enjoy Northwest weather.
That's why we give you a detailed, accurate forecast.
To plan your day and plan for the week ahead.
That's how we're on your side.
With Rhonda in the morning.
And Rod at night.
Only on KATU News.
It's Toyota's Lots on the Lot event. With so many great trucks to choose from, it's the right time to buy. Get Tundra with $2,500 cash back or 1.9% APR financing for 60 months. Or get Tacoma with 5.9% APR financing for 60 months. Toyota's Lots on the Lot event. Going on now.
So many places to go. So many things to see. So many moments to experience. It's all out there just waiting for you. And you can do it in total comfort with this Cougar 278 half-ton truck towable fifth wheel, featuring the popular rear kitchen design and large shower for just $258 a month. Discover the world of towable RVs from Oregon's largest selection at Curtis Trailers, Portland and Beaverton.
Come on, Moose.
Your dog's one of a kind, like no other. And now you have the power to help significantly extend his healthy years. A groundbreaking 14-year study by Purina proves that puppy chow, then dog chow nutrition fed properly over a lifetime can help extend median lifespan by 1.8 laughable, lovable years. Long live your buddy. Long live your dog. Purina Puppy Chow and Purina Dog Chow.
Why does Tums control acid faster than Pepcid AC? Because they work on your stomach acid in totally different ways. Tums Calcium naturally, rapidly neutralizes acid, so it works fast. Pepcid AC's famotidine has to travel through your bloodstream, so it takes at least 40 minutes to block natural acid production. So why does Tums work on acid faster and cost less, and Pepcid AC works slower and cost more? Good question. Fast relief is our specialty.
This segment of KATU News brought to you in part by Clyde West and Volvo Construction Equipment.
Back to our breaking news. If you live or travel in the area of 82nd and Flavel in southeast Portland, you might have seen a whole lot of police activity. Here's why. TriMet bus driver says somebody threatened to blow up his bus at 82nd and Flavel. You see a pretty good shot of the bus through the trees there. What they don't know at this point is if the guy left anything on the bus, but he has been taken into custody. We can tell you that. One positive point in all this, that we're told that 82nd Avenue say it again? It is now open. Producer Dave tells me in my ear it has now just been opened. 82nd Avenue, good news. You can see some cars going by. The bus has apparently been cleared to move on. So a big scare for a lot of folks, I'm sure. The bus driver and the people on that bus as well. A guy threatened to blow up that bus, 82nd and Flavel. He is in custody. We'll try and sort out exactly what happened and let you know as soon as we can.
We have a KATU consumer alert from Curious George to Thomas and Friends to SpongeBob. More toys are being recalled because of lead paint. The new round of recalls announced today involve a variety of toy tops, pails, jewelry, books, and journals that are either in violation of the lead paint standard or because of the risk of lead exposure. All of the toys involved with this new round of recalls were manufactured in China, but it's important to note no injuries have been reported with any of these toys. For the full list, including where these toys were sold and when, you can log on to our website at KATU.com and click on the consumer section. A Chinese official says manufacturers in that country and toy maker Mattel are both responsible for the millions of toys that were recalled in the past few weeks. He said Chinese manufacturers do not have tight controls over purchasing and production, and Mattel neglected to thoroughly inspect the toys. The toys were pulled because they either contain the lead paint or tiny magnets that can be swallowed.
We have another update now, this one on dog treats. Tests of 2 Chinese brands sold at Walmart found traces of melamine. That's the same chemical that led to the massive pet food recall in March. Walmart stopped selling chicken jerky strips last month after customers complained their pets were getting sick. No official recall has been announced, but the company has put a computerized block on all the cash registers to prevent workers from selling those products. And reports out of China say a factory recycled used chopsticks and sold up to 100,000 pairs a day without any sort of disinfection. Officials raided the factory yesterday and seized about 500,000 pairs of disposable bamboo chopsticks. Chinese authorities could not say if the products were shipped to the U.S.
Across America tonight, firefighters say welding work may have sparked a massive fire in California. They say an explosion from a propane tank ignited a dozen boats that were tied up near San Francisco. The owner of all of the boats was rescued by a friend and is now being questioned by authorities. Nobody was injured.
One woman suffered minor injuries after part of the ceiling collapsed at a mall near Boston today. A 20 by 20-foot hole was caused when scaffolding collapsed on top of the Gap store. The woman was inside the store when the accident happened. No one was on the scaffold when it fell.
A maintenance worker helped capture this unwanted guest in Fort Myers, Florida this morning. Ooh, I can imagine. A resident spotted this 8-foot python outside of his apartment. The worker and another person got the snake into a trash can, and they believe it's somebody's pet that got out accidentally or maybe was set free.
Rod Hill with us talking weather, and I'll tell you right now, this is not something that we'd hope for today. A little more sunshine in the morning just didn't happen.
I thought the morning was okay. I was disappointed in the afternoon.
I'm disappointed the whole
I
day.
was okay with it all. You guys are too hard to please.
We are difficult.
You are difficult to
Thought it
please,
would
I'm
just
telling
kind
you.
of clear out more. Instead, it kind of stayed partly cloudy, and the reason, really a cooler northwesterly flow than I identified, and instead of getting close to 80, we've been stuck in the mid-70s this afternoon. Steve, you disappointed in that?
Yes, I am.
Yes, he says he's disappointed. Here's a look at a live shot from our Spanish Head Hotel Resort camera. Now, this is what I'm talking about. This is sunshine, beautiful weather, 68 degrees, courtesy of the Spanish Head in Lincoln City. Nice sunshine out in the gorge, wind 16 to 20 miles per hour from the west, hitting 80 degrees there. Steve, we should have gone to Hood River. It was 80. See? Yeah, we still can. 74 right now in Portland. It'll be about 67 at 10 o'clock this evening. So not a bad day, just a little bit cooler than what I thought it would be. The clouds, for the most part, have really gone bye-bye, similar to at this time last night. So plenty of sunshine is with us at this time, and that will be the case going into the evening. So all in all, pretty nice. I'm still tracking this front on Saturday. Now, this time, this has been kind of back and forth. The question is, how far south does the jet stream pull this moisture? Right now, it looks like it's likely rain at times up into Seattle. And then for us, we'll either just kind of catch it or it will stay to our north, and that's unclear right now. But the best chance of rain looks to be developing at some point Saturday afternoon into Saturday overnight. It'll be a partly cloudy day up and down the coast tomorrow, similar to today. Temperature 71 in Astoria. You folks did hit 70 today, so again, not a bad day. In the Willamette Valley and up into southwest Washington, we'll try mostly sunny skies again. Now, today, the coldest it could have been is 74, which that's where we are right now. The coldest it should be tomorrow is 80. The atmosphere is warmer tomorrow. So we'll forecast 83 in Salem and 80 in Vancouver. Up in the mountains, Government Camp tomorrow, 69, plenty of sunshine there. And temperature is still mighty comfortable. Nice not to be complaining about the heat. 86 in Redmond, a little warmer. Madras, 87 degrees. And temperatures out farther to the east of plenty of sunshine tomorrow. John Day, 85. Your low tonight will be 49. Near 90 in Hermiston, and then in the upper 80s in the Dalles as well. West breezes, not too bad really. West 5 to maybe 25 miles per hour. The extreme gust in Hood River tomorrow, 83. Stevenson will be 81 degrees. Plenty of sunshine here. So our forecast maps, partly cloudy tonight, down to about 58 degrees. Tomorrow, it ought to hit 80 tomorrow, okay? 81, we'll say, with plenty of sunshine. And please accept my apology. We're having some difficulties with our weather computer. And for that reason, I cannot show you our 10-day graphic. So if we can come back to camera, I would just tell you Friday, 85 degrees. And then the weekend still looks like it'll be in the 70s. A question mark, do we get some rain Saturday afternoon, Saturday night or not? We're not sure. Sunday looks dry, 75. And then right now, no signs of rain, getting back up into the 80s the first part of next week.
Will you both be okay with 85 on Friday? Is that okay?
That would be lovely.
That'll work.
Okay, good to know. We've satisfied them both.
Other news now, President Bush offers another endorsement for Iraq's prime minister. On the same day, 14 U.S. soldiers are killed when their Blackhawk helicopter crashes in Iraq. The president's show of support follows the prime minister's comments yesterday that no one had the right to place timetables on their government. Coming up at 6 o'clock, what the president is comparing